What up, Raf leaders? Welcome back to my channel. We're back here on the East Coast at Atlanticville. I wanted to show you the final version of these homes. This is a row of apartment units, an apartment complex here on the east coast of Demerara. This is the Rupert Craig Highway in front of me. It's normally very busy on a weekday like today. It's Tuesday, and I wanted to show you the conclusion of this estate. So the last time I showed you this building, or these two rows of buildings, they had been in the process of completion. I'm actually on the side, on the seawall. This is a dirt dam that constitutes the seawall at this point on the east coast. If you keep going, I think for another 10 miles, well, not 10, I guess less than 10, 4 miles or so, 4 or 5 miles, you get to Mon Repos. At that point, the seawall actually doesn't really exist. What you get is a sea dam. So the seawall only exists up to that point. That's Turkine UG Road, and it starts again at Ogle and continues up to like Mon Repos. Anyway, what I wanted to show you the update on what happened here. I'm going to try to get onto the highway, get across the highway on this rickety bridge. Yeah, that's looking west towards Georgetown. That's looking east, coming into the city from Ogle. And these houses they're private. Right, that is Turkine next to some. And over here it's Atlanticville. Alright, so let me just show you the sign so you get an orientation for where you are. This village is Atlanticville. And on the other side of the sign, it says east of here is Atlanticville. So I want to show you what happened since the last time we were here. We're at Atlanticville. They have completed this road. They've resurfaced this access road into Atlanticville. Remember the last time I showed you these houses were built or refurbished in the last decade or so. Some of them, however, have been around since the 1970s, as you can see from the architecture. But over here, this is brand new. So as I understand it, this property is owned by a lawyer whose name I can't recall or can't disclose at this point. But as you can see, they've completed a row of units. Let's see if you can get closer to it so you can see the architectural detail. A row of units. I remember the last time we were here, we were discussing the nature of the tiny windows at the top, and morning we concluded that they were bathroom windows, those tiny windows at the top. But yeah, what we have here is a row of units with an atrium. Is that what we can see? See if you can get much closer. So there's an atrium. And a door next to it. So it seems as if it's a two-story. Each one of these units is a two-story apartment, and each unit has an air conditioner, which is what is hanging off the building on the outside. They've also extended the wall higher since the last time we were here. They've made the wall taller so you really can't see very much. But what you can see from here is that there are a pair of air conditioning units, one for each apartment, and the pair of tiny windows at the top would have to be bathroom windows, probably bathroom and toilet, as somebody pointed out. But if you count the number of units just by counting the number of air conditioners, right? So if you assume there's one air conditioner for each unit, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So there were 28 units. Might even be 30 if I missed 2. So let's say there are 30 units. So there are 30 apartments in this row, and there were 30 more on the other side in the other building. So there are 60 apartments in this complex. On the other side, these are typical homes that were built in the 1970s and the 1980s and 2000s. They were mostly concrete houses. In the 1970s, there were these split levels and wooden houses with the upper floor wood and the bottom floor concrete. So that's how you can tell when some of these units were built. But what I'm showing you here is that this apartment complex is now completed and adds to the availability of housing in Guyana, one of the fastest growing economies. So the problem with an economy that's growing rapidly is that the demand for housing tends to outstrip the supply. So very rapidly the price of property, price of houses and rent increases rapidly. This is one solution to build many units, and this of course be done privately. When the government does it, you call it public housing, but this is not public housing. This is private housing here in Atlanticville. Of course, the neighborhood behind Atlanticville is Cummings Lodge, and this canal separates these units. I think I did a video once where I walked the entire length of this property along this dam, and I think you have to go back in the archives to see that video. Morning. But I just wanted to give you an update on this apartment complex. It is now completed here at Atlanticville. The next step is to find out what the price of rent is here, how much it costs to rent a property here, and what are the terms of rental. Tell me something, you know how much it costs to rent an apartment here? Morning. Do you know how much it costs to rent an apartment here?
No.
Are they open for renting yet?
Pardon me?
Are they renting yet?
They're renting, but we can open not yet.
Okay, thanks.
My unit is rent is here diplomatic people and you allow foreign people.
Okay. All right, so apparently this is going to be reserved for diplomats according to the people at the entrance. This is for international expats and foreign workers. But the upshot, I mean, the conclusion is that it is now completed and adds to the availability of property or rental property in the country, and should actually have an impact on the availability or the price of rents in the country. Of course, the escalation or the inflation of rent is a global problem, and countries are dealing with it in Europe, in the UK, in Canada, even in the US, where the cause of their rental crisis is capitalism, right? A lot of commercial businesses, venture capitalists buying up private homes. A lot of the private equity companies buying up property and using it to make a profit. And that is what's driving up the cost of rent in Europe and North America. But in Guyana, it's inflation, but of a different kind. Inflation because of the rapidly growing demand, because a lot more people are coming to Guyana to live, to work, and the population is growing in that sense. And that puts a demand on houses, places to live, and a pressure on the rental prices. Prices go up. So apparently this is one solution that the local investor has implemented. These houses, apparently these apartments, are going to be available for foreign workers, so diplomats and international people. But that's the situation here. That's what's happening with housing on the East Coast. We're probably going to see a lot more of these as time goes by, and as soon as they build them, we're going to put them on the channel. As I said in previous videos, I do have a company that's building multi-unit high-rise condominiums as a different solution to the same problem. All right, I think if you go up higher, you have the advantage of living
Distance 6
above the
miles.
trees.
Duration 1 hour 35 minutes 29 seconds. Pace 23 minutes 36 seconds per mile.
Yes, if you go up higher, you build multi-unit high-rise condominiums. You have the option of living above the trees, and that's the decision that I've made to address this problem. You can go to my website to see my company, how we're making progress on that. But for now, this is what is happening here at Atlanticville, where these apartment units are now completed and ready for rental. As soon as I get more information on the prices, I'll let you know. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here at Atlanticville, in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later!